After a relatively lackluster first 2 months of the year, I don't want to say bad first 2 months of the year because there were some pretty good game releases in January and February. We had games like Dreams, I was really into Hunt Showdown, Vanquish, and Bayonetta getting remastered on the PlayStation 4. However, it wasn't as packed as I initially thought it was going to be, especially with all of the delays. I mean, The Last of Us Part 2 was initially scheduled for February. Nonetheless, heading into March, it is an absolutely stacked month for new game releases, and for PlayStation 4 owners, even more so because there are 3 new major exclusives that are coming to the PlayStation 4 next month. You might not even be completely aware about it because none of these games are actually first-party titles. Yes, they are third-party titles that for whatever reason have decided to be PlayStation 4 exclusives. We've got a major JRPG, we've got a very exciting action title that I think a lot of people are going to be into, and you've got a fighting game in there as well. So it's rounded out with a variety of different games, and I think next month is going to be one of the biggest PlayStation 4 game release months of the year in a little while as well, given that on top of these exclusives, we also have a lot of exciting multi-platform titles. So without further ado, I want to highlight those 3 exclusives in today's video, and let's start off with one that I am very excited for, and that is Nioh 2. Now, Nioh is a game that was really well received back in 2017. Yeah, it's already been 3 years since the first Nioh came out. Crazy how time flies that quickly, and of course with the first Nioh, it was often compared to a game like Souls. However, Nioh definitely offered its own unique flair given the fact that it did have a little bit more of an emphasis in the story. I'm not saying that Nioh is a story-driven game by any means, however, that story was a little bit more in your face, and it was definitely a challenging game. Many will say it was even more challenging than Souls. I'm not here to get into that debate right now, but Nioh was a fantastic game that was received really well, got strong reviews, and now we have the release of Nioh 2, and this game is looking to be a significant improvement upon the first game as well. Since it's been 3 years, that's exactly what I'd expect. However, this is the makings of everything that a sequel should be. In Nioh 2, you're going to defy your own mortality and unleash your inner darkness across the violent feudal land of Sengoku-era Japan and the deadly Dark Realm in a savage action RPG sequel. You'll survive a brutal blend of Japanese myth, legend, and history. Obviously, it combines a lot of different elements within Japanese mythology, and it does so really well, and that adds another layer to the presentation of the game, and I think it does that part really well. Master the lethal arts of the samurai as a mysterious half-human, half-supernatural yokai warrior in a challenging action RPG sequel. Explore violent Sengoku-era Japan and the deadly Dark Realm, both plagued with grotesque, merciless demons. That's another thing that Nioh did really right. Some of the creatures that you fought, they all have their distinct look and appearances. However, they are all grotesque in visual and appearance, and that definitely adds a little bit to the horror element of the game, which I think Nioh also tries to go for. Unsheath your deadly weapons and cut down all enemies in your path using a revamped combat system and the ability to transform into a full yokai to unleash devastating paranormal powers. Key features of the game: note, sharpen your skills, prepare for the fight of your life with revamped mechanics that build on the fan-favorite elements of Nioh, requiring your full concentration and skill. So do expect Nioh 2 to not be a complete overhaul or anything like that, more of a development of the mechanics that were already present in Nioh 1, but I think that's exactly what the gamer that played Nioh 1 heading into Nioh 2 wants out of the game. Choose your method of combat, follow the way of the samurai with traditional weapons including swords and hatchets, or fill your Mritigage to wield mighty yokai abilities and destroy monstrous foes via a variety of mighty attacks. Improve your weapons with the yokai shift. Filling your gauge doesn't just give you access to a powerful yokai form, but also allows you to increase the stats of various weapons and add extra buffs such as staggering foes and grappling down enemies. Help and get help from other players. Call upon the specters left behind by the other Nioh 2 players to aid you in combat. Their spirits will assist you until the end of their current level or until they're defeated. A lot of gameplay has already been rolled out of Nioh 2. There's a lot of previews that have been posted, and based on everything that I'm consuming and reading, this is looking to be a significant improvement upon the first game. And if you're a fan of action-oriented titles, let's say you didn't even play the first title, but Nioh 2 I think is going to be right up your alley because this is looking like a very compelling game. I should note that if you're not completely sold on the game, by the end of this month there will be another demo, a timed demo ran for the game, so try that out, play it. I played the first one and really dug my time with that, and if you play that, I think it will sell you on the game quite a bit. Some people might not like the Japanese aesthetic of the game. For a game like this, I do think it's a lot more digestible for someone that's not into Japanese games, comparatively speaking to, you know, an anime-centric JRPG, and we'll go over a major one that's coming out next month. However, Nioh 2, I think, is accessible to a Western audience on top of a Japanese audience, even though it does take a lot of Japanese mythology, but I think it does that really well and just makes it a very, very unique experience. And again, Nioh 2 will be out March 13, 2020, and as far as the games that have come out this year, I think Nioh 2 is gonna be my most anticipated game of 2020 so far. Next up, I mentioned that there was a major Japanese RPG coming, and I'm sure a lot of you guys already know what that is. Persona 5 Royal finally comes stateside March 31st, and I am so excited for this as well. Nioh 2 and Persona 5 Royal are probably neck and neck in terms of my most anticipated games. In March, you've obviously got games like Doom Eternal. Let's not get into a tangent right now, but Persona 5 Royal is the improved version of one of the best RPGs of all time. I don't even have to add like an additional specifier saying that it's one of the best JRPGs of all time. I don't have to say it's one of the best JRPGs in recent memory. No, this is legitimately one of the greatest RPGs of all time. I should say Persona 5 was legitimately one of the greatest RPGs of all time. Persona 5 Royal, it's gonna be even better. Now, if you're not familiar with Persona and the extended versions that they released, maybe Persona 5 was your first Persona game, and by all means, for a lot of people, that is fine. I know a lot of people checked out Persona for the first time with Persona 5. However, do note that Persona 3 and Persona 4 both had versions like this. Persona 3 had Persona 3 FES, Persona 4 had Persona 4 Golden. And to some of you guys just understanding how the gaming world works, you might look at a Square Enix re-releasing games all the time. You might look at some other publishers or developers re-releasing games all the time, hiking up the price, whatever the case may be, and you might look at the fact that Persona 5 Royal is $59.99 and get a little bit disappointed. Why isn't there an option to buy it as DLC? And I'll offer you this, that I do agree it would have been nice to buy the Royal extension as DLC. However, do not get it twisted in thinking that Persona 5 Royal is this lazy, haphazard, extended version of Persona 5. That's absolutely not the case. Persona 5 Royal is going to offer you a lot of additional content. To give you guys an idea, Persona 3 FES offered like 30 to 40 hours of additional content on top of the main game. Same thing could be said for Persona 4 Golden. Golden wasn't as crazy based on my experiences with it, but Royal, based on what we've heard, and the game has already been released in Japan, this is a significant extension on top of the base Persona 5 experience. You're talking about an additional semester. You're talking about new characters added to the core of the game. You're talking about a lot of extra gameplay elements. There is so much being done to Persona 5 with the Royal extension. They're even adding elements like PlayStation 4 Pro support. The graphics have been enhanced with PlayStation 4 Pro. You can experience an even more beautiful Persona 5 with greater detail and higher resolution for maximum realism. Countless new songs. They're going above and beyond to make sure you are getting your $59.99's worth out of Persona 5 Royal. Now, if you never even picked up Persona 5, yes, I know that the base game is now relatively cheap. You could probably find it on sale for $9.99. I wouldn't even bother with that anymore. Persona 5 Royal is a redefined experience of Persona 5, and this is the version to pick up. Atlus is one of those studios that if they're releasing a game for $59.99 and it's Persona 5, I guarantee you it's gonna be worth that money. If this was another game franchise, if this was a game that wasn't as well received as Persona, I probably wouldn't be all over paying $60 for it. Full price $60. However, Persona 5 was such a masterclass in Japanese RPG game development that Persona 5 Royal is going to be right up your alley. And even if you've never played JRPGs, yes, I know that this is a game that accentuates that anime aesthetic a little bit more so. However, the character development is so strong. The music is so great. The art style is awesome, and it's one of those games that's going to age really well. I implore you to at least give the game a shot. And of course, if you've been a long-time JRPG fan, Persona 5 Royal is going to be an obvious pickup for you and a major coup for PlayStation to have this as an exclusive, especially this late in the life cycle. This is going to be one of those games that keeps gamers still incredibly invested to the PlayStation 4 platform, even though a lot of people are already looking at the PlayStation 5. Alright, so we talked a action-oriented title, we talked a Japanese RPG. Rounding the lineup up, we have a very exciting fighting game in Granblue Fantasy Versus. Now, as far as Granblue goes, everybody's excited for Granblue Project Relink. That game looks phenomenal, and that's a traditional JRPG. However, until then, we have a fighting game to hold us over. In Granblue Fantasy Versus, power, skill, and spirit collide in a quest to find the true champion of the sky. Players can take on AI opponents or fight against human opponents in local or online two-player matches. Its Japanese mega hit RPG, Granblue Fantasy, has topped the charts, charming players across the globe with a plethora of lovable characters and story-driven mechanics. Now, Arc System Works and Side Games are teaming up to bring the universe to a home console in an action-packed head-to-head fighter featuring a colorful cast of their most powerful crew members, each with a unique fighting style that is easy to learn but hard to master. Seems like a lot of fighting games are going for that kind of gameplay style. Granblue Fantasy Versus will appeal to fans of Granblue lore and fighting games alike. It'll also include an RPG mode that features an all-new original story told through beautifully rendered cutscenes, featuring deep action RPG gameplay. In this mode, players take on waves of enemies and formidable primal beasts solo or by teaming up with a friend in local or online cooperative play. Along the way, they'll develop their fighters with a comprehensive character and weapon upgrade system recognizable to all Granblue Fantasy fans. The mysterious hooded figure, aka the Chaos Bringer, featured in the Granblue Fantasy's popular What Makes the Sky Blue series of events, was revealed at Granblue Fantasy Fest 2019 as the final boss for RPG mode. His true name will be revealed in the midst of the game. Chaosbringer will be unlockable as a playable character by completing the RPG mode, or you can get him by purchasing the Season 1 DLC. Just like every other fighting game, if you buy the base game, you are not getting all the content. It seems like this has been a recurring theme with fighting games. I'm sure that they're making a lot of money off of it. Just a little bit of a bummer. The Season 1 DLC will also include playable characters as Narmaria, Sores, and Digita, and a fifth character to be revealed, and more details on Chaosbringer are available if you're interested in that. The base game, of course, will be $59.99. They've got a premium edition, and then they've got the digital deluxe pack. Always a bummer to see this being a reoccurring theme in fighting games, but I think this is just something we have to accept. In Granblue Fantasy Versus, I really dig the art style. It definitely employs that Granblue art style that we've seen in games like Project Relink, and you're getting that in a fighting game as well. You've got an RPG mode on top of that, and I think it will be a relatively cool pickup. It's coming March 3rd, and yes, it's a fighting game. Some of you guys have asked us to cover fighting games a little bit more, so there you go. Hopefully, this is one a lot of you guys get invested into, and me personally, I will probably play it from a casual standpoint, but not get super invested into it. But nonetheless, Granblue Fantasy Versus will be dropping March 3rd. And that's gonna conclude this video. Again, coming off the heels of the release of Dreams and its incredible reception, man, PlayStation 4 is getting some incredible exclusives. You've got Nioh 2. That's gonna be a home run. I am confident in that. Persona 5 Royal. That'll be coming March 31st. That's gonna be a home run. I am very confident about that. Granblue Fantasy Versus, not as sold on it, but based on what I've seen, that looks rather good as well. And that'll be coming March 3rd. Nioh 2 on March 13th. That's gonna conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.